Welcome to a visit with Nana and Papa. I'm Nana.
I'm Papa. I'm pretty sure that's obvious.
And we're coming to you from Austin, Texas.
That's not so obvious.
And they're mostly, we're a knitting and crocheting and then all kind of other stuff podcast.
Yeah, Nana is yarn and Papa is everything.
All right.
Except yarn. I make comment on yarn, but I don't do yarn. Which is amazing because sailors are famous for telling yarns. I do tell a yarn, don't I, though?
You do.
I am a yarnster after all. Wrong yarn.
Okay. So, first, what am I wearing? Before I forget. This is the sweater. It is my design. It's not by any pattern, but quite a few people have asked me to write it up. So I am planning on writing it up. So I have started working on it. I do need to do math for lots of different sizes. If I'm going to do the pattern, I'm going to do it right, which means I want to do all the sizes. And then I would like to have it tech edited. So I'm going to hire, she doesn't know yet. Well, I'm going to hire Leslie to do my tech editing because she's starting her business of doing tech editing.
Oh, that's cool. Leslie over in UK?
Yep.
Awesome. Hey, Leslie.
Enough distance. So, I haven't reached out to her yet, but anyway, Leslie, that's what I'm going to do.
If you see this before she talks to you, surprise.
Newsflash. But I'm not ready to send it to her yet, but when I am, that's my intent. If she's not able to do it, then I will definitely reach out to Knits, who is also a tech editor and who I really respect as well. But, so I don't know when, no promises on time frame, but I am very happy with this sweater, and it fits very nicely.
Speaking of out of your own brain knits, show them your...
Yeah, we're getting there, but first...
Oh, is that on a list?
Yeah, it's on the list.
You have to follow the list?
I'm going to follow the list. I don't have to follow the list, but I'm going to follow the list.
Yes, dear. Follow the list.
So,
follow the
finished
yellow brick
Ob
road.
6. I finished the Fitzme cowl. This is by Liz Alvino from Arrow Acres Farm. She's on Instagram as @ArrowAcresFarm. But she is half of Cocktail Hour of the Coop and her parents own Arrow Acres Farm. And she is a crocheter extraordinaire.
Hey, Coop girls.
And this fits, I think, beautifully. And I love the color. I don't know that I will wear it with my pink sweater, but I do love the color. And I have already decided to make another one. And the yarn I was using to make this is a gradient, and so I'm just going to go from the other end and make another one, but that's going to start in pink. So I'll have a blue one and a pink one. Or I'll have a blue one and a very important person in my life who loves pink will have a pink one. Probably the latter, but you never know.
Would that be Rebecca?
Yeah, that would be Rebecca.
See, I am not only psycho, sometimes I can pick up on shit you're laying down, especially if I step in it.
I love you.
I love you too.
The yarn I used in here, it's actually 3 different strands of yarn. There are 2 gradients from the Stroll gradient from Knit Pick, and one is a natural lace weight, which is gloss also from Knit Picks. So it's an entirely Knit Picks project, and I think there's enough yarn there to do 3 cowls, maybe 4, and total I spent on the yarn probably less than 20, maybe less than 15. So not bad.
Not bad.
And I think it fits perfect, and it's going to be nice for in their winter. You would not want to wear this in the summer in Austin, Texas.
I can't imagine you needing a cowl unless you were robbing a bank in Texas in the summer.
In the summer. Okay.
I only pull this up because I'm so freaking cold.
that's the only work in progress the only finished object that I have this week, and probably the only finished object for some time. So don't be expecting some miraculously finished objects in the near future. However, I have lots of whips. And
Lots of whips, no chains.
So the first one I'm going to talk about, I've talked about, first two I've talked about before. This one is the Westknits. It's hard to see because it's bunched up on a sweater, but it is joined in a needle. It's joined in the round. I have joined both sides, so the two panels are now joined.
Well, you're not really showing the join, Bubbies.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's not showing the join.
It's fine. They can see
Frog
there's a
hair
join.
is fine.
They can see it's joined. I also have
my hair right here is fine.
I have tacked down all of the bobbles, and I have made a video, and I'll probably insert it. Why not? We'll insert it right here. So insert. Okay, I am at the stitch marker for where I was doing the loops. So we would knit, cast on, then knit a row, then purl a row, then so that you would get this loops that you can loop through. And so I'm done with the yoke part of the pieces, and now I don't want any more loops. So what I'm going to do is I have 14 stitches in between my stitch marker. So I'm going to knit across 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And then I'm going to go into this loop with my main needle and just plop it over onto that needle. And then I'm going to do an I-cord, which is knit 3, 1, 2, 3, pass the stitches back over, knit 3 more, 1, 2, 3, pass the stitches back over, and keep repeating that. You can do as many as you feel comfortable. I think 5, 6, or 7, may work. I think I did mostly 6, but there's a couple where I did a 7 and a couple where I think I may have done 5. I don't think you have to be exact. Just know the 7's going to be loose, the 5's going to be tight. So I wouldn't go less than 5 because you're trying to go around the other I-cord loop, and you need some give there. So there is 5. I think I'm going to go ahead and do 1 more, and then I'll show you the next step. So 1, 2, and 3. And now I'm going to pass this loop back over so that my I-cord is over the loop. And then I need to go back to the beginning. So I kind of want to tuck that in a little bit and pull up this section that I'm knitting on. And I want to find 3 stitches. So here's 1. And then slip the next one. Find the next stitch. That's here on the musings. I don't want to pull that up. Okay, there's 2. Slip the last stitch, and the last one's super easy to find.
Now you have 6 stitches on the needle, and you're going to knit 2 together across those 6 stitches. So 1, 2, and 3. And now our loop is caught and trapped, and it's attached using that I-cord loop. I'll go back to the previous ones so you can see them. And on the other side, they're all tacked down. Now that one, I think I did 6. You may like 7 better. I think I might like 7 better, but I don't know that there's a magic. You can play with it and see what you like. But then all you do is just knit to the next one until you're all the way around and finish picking them all up. And then we move to the next section, which is to straighten out all of our we're gonna pick up stitches to straighten out or get back to a straight line on our chevrons. So we'll see you in a few.
Here. And so the video is, I'm also going to upload it as a separate video on the channel, just so that if anybody wants to use it. But it was a really cool way of taking these loops that Stephen West came up with, or at least he included, whether he came up with them or not. They were new to me. And how to tack them down in a way that really looks cool. And it's basically an I-cord loop. And I don't know, this one I think is probably the best to see because it's past the point. So here's the loop, and then it's tacked down with this I-cord. But
Stuart's gonna hate that. I-cord, Stuart, don't listen.
It's not an I-cord thing. It's just a, well, it is a five row.
That's I-cord, and Stuart does not do I-cord.
He doesn't like them.
Okay, if he'll hold a gun to his head, he does I-cord. That's not really doing I-cord. Just saying.
So anyway, I don't know when this will be done. I am currently, and it's best to see, I guess, right here. I'm currently clearing up the triangles. So right here, you'll see that this point and this point, they it's kind of a V.
They need some fluff.
So I have to come in and fill it in so that it's a straight line from point to point.
With short rows.
And so I'm working on that.
Well, how the more spot there is, they got any no choice but to be short rows.
So once I finish the short rows, then I should be able to split for sleeves and start with the body.
I love you.
I love you too. And that one is. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. That's it. That's all the progress on that one. The next whip that you guys have seen.
Can we not talk about something besides yarn for a minute?
Oh, I'm sorry.
We had an awesome, last Sunday was my oldest granddaughter Isabel's birthday. And we got to talk to Isabel and we got to see Robert and wish them both a happy birthday. Robert's was a little late, but the whole family was sick on Robert's birthday. My daughter had been away on a deployment and she came back and welcome home. Everybody's puking. Yee.
Not a good one.
I've been there, done that. It's not worth a t-shirt, but I'm sorry about that, sweet pea, but I'm glad everybody's feeling better now. Happy birthday again to my grands. It was good to visit with them.
Didn't get to see Abby.
Didn't get to see Abigail. She was upstairs doing something. Claire was asleep, but that's okay. There will be another time. This was a birthday visit, so at least the birthday people got to have their birthdays.
We went to the park.
We went to a dog park with my brother Romero, and he brought his dog.
All Meadow. It sounded like you said Romero. It's Omero.
Where the hell did you hear an R in Romero? I don't have R in I said Omero.
Okay.
Maybe I said Homero. I don't know. At least I don't call him Homer.
Yes, you do not.
I call him Homero. Anyway, we went with my brother Homero and his girlfriend, fiance Jennifer, and their dog. And we had a great time. And my bro said, bring a guitar. My wife said, bring a guitar. So I said, okay. I brought a guitar.
Here. Pause.
What?
Wait. Insert here. I'm going to put a little tiny video from that guitar playing in here.
I drink some Lone Star. Jose Cuervo. I don't think being sober can be over you. I'm gonna keep drinking till I lose your memory. Somewhere out there in Texas, wanna set my heart free. I'm heading to Houston, maybe even to Austin. I drive to El Paso to get over you. But we had a good time playing guitar, playing dogs, and we were there until it started getting way too freaking hot, and everybody's dogs are like, I want to go home now, so we left. And then we went shopping. Yeah, that was a blast. You see that look? She loves to shop.
I do not love shopping.
She does not love to shop. But we did we had a good day on Sunday, and we had Homero in the daytime, and we had the grandkids at the nighttime. All was good. All was good. Did we finish watching The Diplomat that day, or did we already watched it? Oh, I don't remember. I don't remember when we finished The Diplomat.
And I have to admit, that was good. I enjoyed The Diplomat.
I like The Diplomat, but I'm not so sure I like the way they ended The Diplomat. If you watch the Diplomat, throw in your 2 cents worth. It's free. Well, okay, it's 2 cents, but I'm not charging. You shouldn't either. You know, as many people give me their 2 cents worth, I should be freaking rich. You should make it cash. You want to give me your 2 cents worth? Little copper pennies is always good. We'd be rich. You don't want to give me the cash? Keep your opinion. I don't care. Anyway, okay. That was you can go back to yarny crap now.
Well, I want to talk about what you talked about.
What did I talk about?
So he played music, and I played a little bit here. And it's the first time in a very long time that my loved one played guitar and sang, and it brought me great joy. And I hope it doesn't take that long for it to come back out again. So if you would like him to play on here at just a little ditty, or maybe write you a little song, just put in the comments. He is quite crafty when it comes to writing lyrics. And
yeah.
Anyhow.
I
had a really, really good time. And it's been good to get outside of the house for me and to be around people and socialize. So, and then back to work. So we did get out and about, and being out and about, I got some more inches on this sweater. It's still a long way to go because I've decided on this one that I want it to be around 12 or 13 inches from the armhole, just because I want it a little longer.
Isn't that the seashell yarn?
This is the seashell yarn. This is the Ankee by Tedknits.
Ankee tees for a seashell yarn. I guess that's appropriate.
It's spelled a different way, but yes.
Yeah. I didn't know that until you pointed it out. I have no
deadline on this. However, it is a repair. I had finished it and it was in my stuff to wear, but I found I wasn't wearing it because it was too short. That I had knit it way too short for me, and so I ripped back and started adding again. But instead of just ripping back the ribbing, I found 2 holes that were from yarn overs, and so what I did is I ripped all the way back to the first hole, and then I realized I was so close to the split for sleeves, and since I didn't like how the sleeves fit, I ripped back to split for sleeves and then redid the
So
bottom.
basically, out of a whole sweater, you saved the yoke.
I said, yeah, I saved the yoke. I just came back to here and then started again.
Because
So
she got nothing but time to knit sweaters. It's all good.
it's still knitting. Anyway, so this, I don't know when it'll be done.
Not for a long time. It's going on hold.
Yeah, it's going on hold. Well, it'll still be probably my work knitting because this doesn't require any thought whatsoever, so
Yeah.
I can just knit on it.
The other one going to require some thoughts.
So this got some love, and it's a great travel. I can't right now. The other stuff I'm doing isn't real good for out and about at the moment. They might be, but more to come on that.
More to come.
Do you want to talk about another?
Okay, went and saw some more Guardians of the Galaxy. If you haven't seen it yet, it's a good movie. I enjoy it. But a couple of things. McDonald's is using Guardians of the Galaxy for their Happy Meal. Guardians of the Galaxy is rated PG-13, which means your kids are supposed to be 13 before you take them because there's some content in there that may not be appropriate for under 13. Generally, 13-year-olds do not want you to buy them a Happy Meal. So I think there's a little bit of a, The target audience for a Happy Meal is like 6, and the target audience for Guardians of the Galaxy is PG-13. Stroke of genius. Stroke of genius. But she says that's because they don't just want the parents to buy the kids a Happy Meal because the parents went to see Guardians of the Galaxy and they'll steal the kids' toys anyway. That's possible because everybody that we got a Happy Meal yesterday got Drax the Destroyer bobblehead type guy. And I'm like, I looked around and all the kids in the place that had a Happy Meal had Drax. I'm like, y'all only got one toy? You know, there's like 7 or 8 characters there in Guardians of the Galaxy. There's diversity. You could have had more than Drax the Destroyer, but that's what we got. But I went to see it in IMAX 3D, and I will tell you right now, out of all the formats, that is probably the most impressive. But IMAX 3D, you do not get to recline. You have to sit in the right spot, and you have to sit up, and you have to watch that way. Regular Real D 3D, you can recline and still have your head watch and everything's great. There is no such thing as a reclining seat at IMAX. So if reclining is more important to you than anything else, skip IMAX. If you're willing to go with the IMAX and sit still, it's a cool show in IMAX 3D. Big screen. Do not go see it in 4XD or 4DX or whatever, 4DX. 4DX, that's probably the cutoff. Once you are 40, you are X from going to this ever again. No. Because this is supposed to be like Universal Studios. You know how the Millennium Falcon and shit like that? And the seat moves and it shakes and rattles. And it gives you this simulation of being on the Millennium Falcon. Yeah, this is what they did for 2.5 hours. Only apparently they thought you were going to fall asleep at any given moment in this movie. So instead of just, I am bruised, I am sore. It's been 2 days. This was Friday. So it's been more than 2 days. And yesterday I only thought I was miserable. Today I have a better definition of miserable. It pounded the living crap out of me. And it didn't enhance the movie at all. My arms are sore from having to grip the seat because there are no seat belts. And I'm telling you, they are necessary. I'm also warning you, this is a public service announcement. Do not take children to see this movie in 4DX, or you will be taking them to the emergency room next for dislocated body parts and concussions. And then they have this special little thing where when it shoots, it has this air go puffing by your ear. You know what that is? That is freaking annoying. And if you wear a hearing aid, that is super ass freaking annoying. Having this because everybody else just feels this air going by. You hear this, and it's like a jet passes your head right there. Not good. And then it's got smell-o-vision. And anybody that has babies or grandbabies and you've changed their diaper when they're sick, that is a very unique smell. Apparently, whoever made this smell-o-vision thought that that was the perfect smell to waft into your face every time there was flame or something. Because, you know, all flames smell like sick baby shit. Horrible. Just don't go. I was looking so forward to seeing a 4DX movie because this was supposed to be great. I will never go again. I thoroughly regret going this time. And I will probably get on my soapbox and preach about this fairly often just as a public service announcement to try and save old people from body damage. I ever see an old person on a walker going in there, I will take them and just wheel them out and say, get your money back. Or call an ambulance and tell them to be here in 2.5 hours because you're going to need it. Maybe less. Seriously. Okay, but you got more yarny garny?
I do.
Pride tea. What about your pride tea? That's this one, isn't it?
It is.
Okay.
So, I know I said I wasn't going to make one because I was really mad. And I was really mad. But then I realized, what about the recalibrate? But then the recalibrate sweater, which I may make at some point, but the gauge on it is so far off what I want. So, I just trying to do my own thing. It has issues at the moment, but I have the start of a tee. I have the front panel and the back panel, and I am currently knitting on one side, and I'll be knitting it across and all the way over until I get to the sleeve, and then once I have the rest of that body shape, then I'll be binding off and picking up for a little bit of a sleeve on the side, and so more to come on this, but I'm really happy that the yarns go together better this way than before. Not certain about my fit and all that, but we will figure it out as we go, since I am winging it again, and I'm winging it in a direction I've not done before. This is we're just going with the flow for the moment, but I am really happy. And the yarns, the self-striping is Always Be Kind yarn in her Inclusive Pride colorway, and the variegated is the Trans Love colorway by Frankie Gray Fibers. They literally created this colorway for me because I could not find a trans color at the time and asked for one, and so they created it.
Not nice of them.
They're very nice of them. And I actually asked 6 other dyers because they're in Canada, and so I tried to find someone from the US and
poor Canadians.
And they wouldn't even no one else even responded, and Frankie Gray Fibers responded in less than 24 hours, and in just 2 days of me asking, I had a photo of what they had dyed.
See, they're nice. They're Canadians. They're nice people. But I feel very sorry for Canadians because all of our Canadian friends tell us how great Tim Hortons coffee is. So I bought some Tim Hortons coffee grounds, and I've made it twice. And right now I'm thinking apparently Folgers isn't available in Canada. Folgers isn't a good coffee either. It's not really. It's not America's favorite. Well, apparently only thing Americans could afford was Folgers. Maybe that's the same thing with Tim Hortons, is that's just nationally available, so that's what they drink. I have yet to make a cup of coffee with Tim Hortons that I've got. Damn, that's a tasty cup of coffee. The word damn has been in it, but that's as far as we get. It's not got any of the other good stuff afterwards. And unfortunately, it's like a 12-ounce bag of coffee. You know how many times I'm going to have to drink that?
Yep,
And I'm not making a cold brew out of it because it is like coffee snus. It is finely ground. I think somebody might have wanted to make espresso out of that. I have no idea. But it would go right through my coffee bag that I hold my coffee in to make my cold brew. Which, if you have not done cold brew coffee, let me tell you right now, if you have a Keurig, you got a little Keurig pots, take a little Keurig pod, open it up, dump the contents into a bottle of water, put it in the fridge, come back and visit it in 2 days. Pour it over a filter, and you will have an ideal cup of coffee. If you don't want to wait that long, take it and put it on the counter and leave it overnight. And in the morning, pour it over a filter, and you will have an ideal cup of coffee. Cold brew, that's the way to go. If you don't cold brew, you're not getting the most out of your coffee bean. Just know. Now, okay, my baby doll fell down and hurt herself.
Yeah.
Again, normal, happens. So she did a willy on her knee. So I bought her these. And this was a great idea, right up until they cut off circulation and turned her foot purple. Yeah, no, that's not how you promote healing. So I got her these. And she says it is night and day difference. She thinks walking is so much better with these. But now she don't like these because they hurt her leg. Well, they can hurt your leg if they keep you from breaking your leg because she don't wear it like she's supposed to. And I hear, oh, shit. And it's all a bunch of bad words. We won't repeat on this in case any kids are watching. But she swears like a sailor when her knee goes out. But if she wears a little pink support for her knee, that wouldn't happen, and her vocabulary could stay much more pristine. I think that being a grandmother, you should work on that. Okay, speaking of grandmothers, we spent yesterday in the afternoon, early evening, with a friend of mine. He owns Pflugerville J-Dog Junk Removal. And that's how I met him. Josh helped me out several times in the cleaning out of the garage. And that's how I met him and got to know him. And we developed a relationship and a friendship. And I kind of adopted him, and he kind of adopted me. And yesterday was the first day that my wife got to meet his wife and daughters. And I got to meet his wife and daughters. And we went to McDonald's, and we had McDonald's, and then we went to Main Event to play games and use up the game cards that I've had in my possession for a very, very long time. And it was just the most wonderful experience. But when we were getting rid of stuff and cleaning stuff out, Valerie gave them a little sweater. And it happens to fit the youngest daughter. And she's all happy and she loves her sweater. But the older daughter didn't get a sweater. So Valerie thought that it would only be fair to make sure that both of them had a sweater. So she liked the sweater from Wednesday, the black and white checker sweater. So she sat down and she wrote a pattern for the black and white checker sweater. So this is a Creations by Valerie pattern. And we asked Josh if he thought his daughter would like that. And he said, sure. The yarn showed up yesterday. It was waiting for us when we got back from Main Event. And so Valerie has started working on that little sweater. And now you can show them that sweater because that's on your list of things to do. And this is going to be her dedicated knit so that the little girl can have her sweater before she outgrows it.
Okay, so first and foremost,
yes,
I tried one thing and wasn't sure I liked it. So then I tried another thing and then I messed up the other thing. And then I went back to the first thing and I'm still not 100% decided. So I'm going to show you my options. So this is, for those of you not familiar,
a little
this
closer
is not
so
done.
you get a better view of that.
This is a mitered square.
You see that little line there?
And so if I do the little squares in mitered squares, I can keep joining them. And this is where I'm leaning, because it's not bad. This is kind of fun to make. But there's gonna be a lot of these. So this was option 1, and then I thought, you know what, I should just do intarsia. So I took the time and I wound up my little intarsia balls that I learned how to make from Sylvia Watts Cherry at a class I took on intarsia.
Doesn't she have a thing that she does those classes on the web?
I don't think she has them on the web at the moment, but she does do them at different retreats and stuff. So you can look to see if she's coming somewhere close to you.
Sylvia Watts Cherry.
She's really awesome, and
Google
her patterns are really cool. She's on Instagram and as with cherries on top, and I know on Ravelry you can search Sylvia Watts Cherry and find her patterns
And find out where she's at.
and this is what I started, but I messed up because it should be black and then black and white, black and then black and white. So I'm missing my first black, which is no big deal to add, but I'm just saying I'm missing the first black. I'm missing a second black here. I'm missing a second black in between here and another black at the end.
Wow, you gotta do some additions.
And so I would have to rip this whole thing out because it's all connected already, and then start over if I'm going to go this route. However, if I go this route, I will be knitting. This will probably go much faster than this one, but it'll be fiddly because I have to deal with all these yarns and constantly making these little things, which means it'll use more yarn because I'm not good at really short ends of yarn. And so I haven't decided. This is something I want to learn to do and be better at. But I've also never done mitered squares, so maybe a good chance for me to really get good at mitered squares. So,
I vote for the one that takes less yarn.
By definition, that's this one.
I think that was kind of neat because it's got that little
weave
ridge.
in the ends, and this has a little line, so probably this is going to be my method. But if you have an idea of what you would use, I'm going to see if I have the drawing in here. I think I do. This is my drawing of what I am going to make. So, anyway, those are my works in progress. I don't think I have. Oh, the yarn. The yarn for this is Stroll from Knit Picks in the black and in the white. I don't love this yarn. I don't hate it. I don't love it. Do you see how it it just doesn't stay. It kind of wants to come undone when I'm knitting with it. It does this when I'm knitting.
Splits?
Yeah, it opens up. And I don't know what causes it, but it starts doing that as I'm knitting.
Probably the way you're holding it and your fingers just keep rolling it and rubbing it open.
It's very annoying.
If you had probably started at the other end, it would go getting tighter and turn into thread.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is, but it's not bringing me great joy in that respect. But other than the splittiness, I'm liking how it's looking, and it is a squishy yarn, which is nice. So anyway, if you have any opinions on which method or how you would do those checkerboard sections, I would love to know. Pop it in the comments. And as far as my knitting, that's it. I do want to share one more thing, but what else did you have to talk about?
Oh, I got lots of stuff I could talk about. We haven't even broached half of my stuff, but we've been busy with yarn.
I know, because
Now, I was on Facebook and I saw this thing for, do you have neuropathy? We have a seminar. Come to, what was that place? Louis Mueller Barbecue. And we will feed you while we tell you about our way to deal with neuropathy without drugs. I'm like, wow, this sounds good. I would like to deal with neuropathy and I would like to do it without drugs. Free barbecue too. Well, I went to this place and it was a pain in the ass to get there because it was in Taylor, Texas, which isn't that far away, except they had it at 6:30 at night, which means you have to drive through
I'm glad I didn't
a
go.
shitload of traffic to get there. Yeah, it was miserable.
Nightmare.
And when I got there, then we had our seminar and they had some interesting things to say. And I booked an appointment and I gave them $30 and it was worth it. The meal was not. The meat was fatty and salty, and it was left out too long waiting for us to get to it. So I got food poisoning and had a really rough night and morning afterwards. Their barbecue sauce was water. I mean, it was not sauce; it was water. You could probably put that in a sprayer and spray it on your windows, and then you wouldn't be able to see out your windows, but then that's not sauce. The sauce has at least some kind of thickness and viscosity to it. But it's okay because any more of it, and I probably would have had more to get sick from. Everything was not right. So that was not good. I'm not going to endorse Louis Mueller's barbecue because I'm not encouraging anybody to get sick. But I went there and I got my appointment. I went to see them after and my appointment. They did their test, and we know that I have neuropathy, and we know that things are not good. Their test really showed that things are not good, but they want $12,000 for their treatment, and you pay them up front. Not going to do that. Part of their treatment is stem cells, and part of it is red light therapy, and part of it is electrostimulation with a TENS unit. Well, I have a TENS unit, and I can buy red light therapy, and the only thing I can't do is the stem cells. And the bottom line was they didn't say they could save my legs. They just said they could prevent how quickly they had to cut them off. Well, that's not an option, really, you know. If you can save them, that's great. If you can't, that's not. So we're not going to do that. Then the car started throwing a fault code for the ABS. I took it to our buddies at Ankee. They checked it out, and both of the wheel speed sensors are bad, throwing a fault. And he said, doesn't affect the safety of the car, doesn't affect passing a safety test. People have been driving cars without ABS brakes for years. And I said, that's true. My first vehicle was a 1969 Ford Custom Ranger. It did not have anti-lock brakes on it either. And you learned how to drive, and you learned how to pump the foot feet, how to pump the brake and not smash shit. So we will continue to drive until we can't, because he said it's going to be very pricey. You're looking at like between $300 and $600 a piece, because you have to buy the whole hub. He said he doesn't think you can just buy the sensor, so we're not going to do that. Plus the time to install them at $150 an hour for labor, not going there. What else do we have? I started looking into something. I've been doing it a little bit for years. Ayurvedic healthcare. It is from India. And I figure if the Indians have been using this for the last 5,000 years, and there's still lots of them alive, apparently it's not too bad. But it's not a medicine plan. It is a lifestyle health plan. And it goes into the different elements in the world and how you are all of those elements and how they interact with you and how you interact with them. And it's really quite interesting. And the book that I am studying right now is Ayurvedic Self-Care Handbook. If you have Kindle Unlimited, you can read it for free. I wholeheartedly suggest checking this book out, because it's very interesting and enlightening. And I will continue to read this and figure it out. Books that I have been reading. I finished reading The Bloodless War, Book 4. It's a D.K. Holmberg series.
It drove you crazy.
Well, no, it's not. That's the one I'm currently reading right now is the one that's driving me serious. It's terrible. I'll talk about that. Bloodless War, it's a good series. Once again, I don't expect too much on the editing front because D.K. Holmberg doesn't invest much in the editing home front. But Bloodless War, Book 4. Blade and Bone starts the series, so if you're going to read the series, start with Blade and Bone and know that there's at least going to be 5 books, at least 5. Because I just finished Book 4 and they aren't done yet. So there is at least a 5th book coming. Can you? Yes, you can. Throw it in whatever you want.
I just wanted to say this is a test knit right now from Tiff Nealon, but I don't even remember. I want one of the podcasts. It could be Ruth from Ruth Loves to Knit. It could be, there's lots of possibilities, but it's a t-shirt coming that's in fingering weight and from Tiff Nealon, and it's striped, and y'all know I kind of have a thing for stripes, and I love my tees, so this is coming. This is definitely coming, and I don't know when it's gonna release. And along those lines, I have been seeing a little bit of movement on the make along or the knit along, or make along, but on some tops. So I'm excited to see if any more people are participating. Remember, you don't have to finish. Just post a picture of, hey, I'm starting here, whether you're starting at a cast on or you're starting wherever, and then post your progress. If you finish, great. If you just do some work on it, that's enough. That's it.
Now, I'd mentioned we went to McDonald's with Josh and his family. Valerie timed it. It took 38 minutes to get food. And as I explained to Josh's wife, there are 2 definitions for the word fast. One of the words is speedy, quick. The other word means to go without food for an extended period of time. Apparently McDonald's is going with the second definition of fast food, because we went without food for 38 minutes in a restaurant that's supposed to be able to spit the shit out in 3 minutes. That's their goal. Did you know that? Their goal is to have you served and your food to you in 3 minutes. If you think they are fresh grilling you a burger in 3 minutes, you may be one of those people that falls for a lot of other silly shit in this world. I'm not going to name you.
Oh, I got to sit back. I'm sorry.
You know,
I'm still here, but I'm stretching my legs.
We're almost done. The last little bit I've got is D.K. Holmberg's latest series. It's called The Weight of Magic, and it's going to be several books long from my understanding. It is absolutely the worst editing of any D.K. Holmberg book I've read. It is like 2 different people are writing this book, and it doesn't say he's co-writing it. So he tells you for 5 chapters how this kid is making it through the forest by himself, following a wolf. And then the wolf leads him to a man who feeds him and saves him. And he sees that this man has his best friend from his village, which has been wiped out by the enemy. Everybody in his village is dead, except for his best friend who wasn't in the village. And this guy happens to have him. And he proceeds to go from introducing that Jacob is back to telling about how Jacob was with him and he saved Jacob in the forest. He didn't save Jacob in the forest. He just found Jacob alive. So, my God, don't you even have a storyboard for what you're writing? And it's just several times that he just, like, somebody else decided to start spirit writing for him. And he needs to get a hold of the spirits or quit drinking them. I don't know. Something's going on there, but it's not logical. It's not coherent. Hell, it could be a CBS movie.
I love you.
I love you too. What?
No,
I'm
it's
just
okay.
saying,
Um, not that anybody cares, but I did go on my 4th interview
You did.
for a new job, and I'm not going to give any details on that interview or that job or what it's with, but just putting it out into the universe that I wouldn't mind this job. I think it would be a very good fit for me. So,
And
anyway.
if you don't keep track of him, check out Gary and his knits for AIDS.
Gary Knits, Gary Rides on Instagram.
Or
Gary Knits, Gary Rides, a craftivism.
Gary is getting really
Podcast
close
is on
to when
YouTube.
he's going to do his ride.
Mm-hmm.
It's weeks away, and he is working extra hard to get in shape and ready for that. He didn't work extra hard this week because he went to Maryland Sheep and Wool and got to see a bunch of friends and Valerie's friends, and Valerie is all sad and lustful because they all got to get together. All of her favorite people were in Maryland at Maryland Sheep and Wool.
Well, not all of my favorite people.
But a lot of her
my
favorite people.
were all
But
in Maryland.
I want to say a special thank you to Josh's wife and children because they sent her a beautiful thing for Mother's Day. And it made her so happy. You should have seen the smile on her face. Those little girls and that wonderful lady certainly did a beautiful thing for my wife. So thank you very much. Welcome to our family. I have discovered that family is what you make out of it. I have a mother and a sister that I love dearly, but they are thousands of miles, about 1,200 miles away. So we get to see them on Zoom. Well, okay, we get to see them on an Amazon device, which we're not going to say because then she starts talking, and I would prefer her to stay quiet right now.
Named.
But and they're a long way away. So I have discovered that extended family, that's people who you weren't born with, but that you just chose. And sometimes they are closer to you than your real family, so you see them more and you interact with them more. And I think everybody in this world needs extended family because
I call them chosen family because extended family to me is all my second cousins and great aunts and great uncles.
I guess maybe that is also considered.
So
yeah.
I call it
Chosen family. Your adopted family. The people that you say, I like you so much, I wish we were related. Now we are because we said we are. That's kind of, I am a grandfather because I married a woman that has grandchildren. I did not make these grandchildren because I did not make their parents. I am their grandpa because I am chosen.
Wait, I always say one thing in Spanish.
Oh, great. Spanish. I still don't speak it.
Yo quiero viajar mi hijo. I want to go visit my hijo.
I love you. Anyway.
I should see if
But
I can
I
contact
think
him.
that pretty much wraps up all of the goodness that we had for the week. Everything that we did. We had a good time playing guitar. We had a good time playing with children, watching. Okay, we didn't play. We watched, but it was delightful. It was so wonderful, especially watching the older and the younger one playing shuffle, air hockey. That was a blast.
Hilarious.
And I'm not naming names because we'll probably incorporate them in here.
But
not today.
No,
but
not on here, but we will probably mention them a lot.
But watching them play was a lot of fun. And the youngest daughter is a fierce competitor. Her sister may be bigger and older, but she is not a roll over and just beat me child. So I was very proud of both of them. They did a great job, and it was a lot of fun to watch. Now, I got nothing more other than we love everybody and be nice to each other. In the words of Hazel, one of my favorite little girls that has never actually laid eyes on me, be kind. We still need to hang that so people can see that. Be kind.
Sugar one. We could use a little more kindness.
Oh, baby love, we could use a lot more kindness.
True.
There is so much not kindness in the world.
I know, it gets worse every day.
It does.
We will try and be back next week. I'm kind of hoping to have a road trip for you next week. I don't know if it'll happen, but we'll try. If it doesn't, it'll just be us. But have a great week, and we'll catch you next time.
Hasta.